Today, going to be giving you some dynasty players to consider stashing before your NFL draft. So this is going to be for deeper leagues. So if you have the bench space, right, we're looking at players that could see possibly an increase in interest from other players in your dynasty leagues, or just an increase in their stock should they dodge the NFL draft. Now, all five of these players are going to be running backs. I think running back position is the positions that's more likely for these deeper league stashes where we can get some hits. There's always some turnover at the running back position. So I'm going to give you 5 names to consider stashing before your NFL draft, or even, like I said, post NFL draft, should nothing happen in these backfields. At player number 5, we have Darrynton Evans.
Look, they're not all first-round picks, okay? Come on, are you going to tell me who that is?
Darrynton Evans now in Buffalo, and Latavius Murray is a free agent, also 34 years old. So right now you have James Cook and Darrynton Evans there in Buffalo. The only other player right now is Ty Johnson. So him and Evans are both signed in 2024 for pretty cheap. So they could be cut, but if not, the RB room, if it stays similar, right, maybe Evans could get a shot at the RB2 in Buffalo. So Darrynton Evans is a guy only 2% rostered if you want to stash him, or just keep your eye on him post NFL draft. Now at number 4, we have La'Mical Perine, 2% rostered in your dynasty league. So he's under contract in 2024. He pretty much is getting the same money as CEH. They're both just getting a little over $1 million. So right now he was in KC last year for a little bit. And also in week 18, he got the nod over Deneric Prince, right? That last game of the season in week 18, he got the PT over him. So late in the season, like I said, week 18, he was the RB15 for fantasy football, 21 rushes for 76 yards, 3 receptions, 33 yards receiving. Jerick McKinnon is out of KC this next season. So La'Mical Perine, his senior season in college at Florida, got 40 receptions, was over 11% target share. So he can catch passes, right, in that backfield for KC. And that was that role that McKinnon had. So if he could get a little bit of the McKinnon role, we know that also Andy Reid is not afraid to deploy different backs. We've seen Darrell Williams, Damian Williams. We also had Gore, whoever that Gore guy was in there. So he's not afraid to mix it up at that running back position. So I think La'Mical Perine could be a decent stash, maybe post rookie draft if they don't do much to this running back room. Someone that you could maybe stash and see. He'd have to dodge training camp, but somebody that maybe to keep your eye on. Now at player number 3, we have this player already got some run this season, and that is Ronnie Rivers over there at the Los Angeles Rams. Only 17% rostered, and I'm worried about Kyren Williams also. I do think the Rams will address the running back room. But we know even with Sean McVay, we've seen him put different running backs out there. He's not afraid. We've had Gerald Henderson, Kyren Williams, all different players that he's put out there. He even put Royce Freeman out there this year. And Ronnie Rivers actually got some playing time this year as well. So for the record, I do like Zach Evans, but he's 49% rostered. So if he's out there, Zach Evans, I do still have a little bit of faith in Zach Evans. But for whatever reason, they refused to put in Evans, and they even used Ronnie Rivers over Zach Evans last season. There was multiple injuries at the running back position, and they chose to put in Ronnie Rivers out there over Evans when it came down to it in the season. So if the Rams do not address the RB position and the role with Kyren, I think Rivers could be the RB2 possibly for the Rams offense heading into 2024 if they don't address the position. And at number 2, we have, don't worry, it gets a little bit better. We have Justice Hill, 27% rostered. Now, right now, I like Keaton Mitchell, guys. We had a little sleeper video on him. We had him and Jaleel McLaughlin on there on our sleeper running back video stashes. But right now, Keaton Mitchell pretty much established the pass catching role there, or change of pace role in 2023. Definitely like what he did, but he tore his ACL and he had surgery late at the end of the year, guys. It was in December when he had surgery. It's going to take time to get back from this injury. I think he will potentially be on the PUP list to start the season. So Justice Hill got a 2-year deal last season, so he's still signed. for the Baltimore Ravens. They have obviously Derrick Henry, but I think Justice Hill could be a similar role that Keaton Mitchell had, just a change of pace guy and a pass catching guy there. So the Ravens early on in the season, I think if he has a small role in that Ravens offense, he could possibly see a value bump in the beginning of the season or just before the season starts if we hear word that Mitchell will not be ready. So Justice Hill, a decent stash at 27% rostered for your dynasty leagues. And at number 1, we have Jeff Wilson. So Jeff Wilson, 30% rostered. So he may not be out there on your dynasty waiver wires, but Mostert is 32 years old, guys, and we've seen Miami just do well for the running backs, very favorable for the running backs for fantasy, right? You have A-Chain there, but Miami uses multiple backs. They had 2 fantasy relevant RBs, really 3 at times with Jeff Wilson himself. Achane was the RB3 with 18.5 fantasy points per game. And Raheem Mostert was the RB4 in fantasy points per game with 18. So they spent a 5th-round pick on Jeff Wilson, right, during the season, this past season. I think it was around week 8 or so. They brought him in, and he was getting some playing time early, got injured himself. But I think he is a good upside stash and a great offense for fantasy football purposes. Even if he doesn't beat out Mostert in the beginning of the season, Mostert is very injury prone himself, right? Pretty much been injured every season. So I think Jeff Wilson is a good guy to stash, or maybe just keep your eye on him if Miami doesn't bring in any more help at the running back position. So let me know what you think about these stashes, guys. Obviously, it is slim pickings in deeper dynasty leagues, but that's what I have for you guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Be sure to like and subscribe and join the Dynasty fam.
Jefferson's got separation.